What is the lightest football boot on the market? Do you know? Well, after today, you're gonna, because we're taking a look at the top 5 lightest football boots on the market. And we're not basing it on what the best lightweight football boot out there is. No, that's for another video, and we all know it's the Vapor 11 anyway. But we're purely ranking the boots on how light they actually are. And I can already reveal now that there are a few surprises. Number 5 is a boot that I actually expected to be a little bit lighter. It is the Umbro Velocita 3. Now, the first Velocita was 165 grams, whereas the Velocita 3 is 194. So it is a little bit heavier, but thankfully it still gives you that OG F50 Adizero vibe, 2017 style of course. You get a comfortable neoprene upper, you get a thin layer of mesh, which is then all covered by a thin layer of silicone, and the whole lot has been slapped on top of a 1mm thin P-Bax sole plate. So if you miss your old F50 Adizeros, Umbro are coming pretty close with the Velocita 3s in 5th place. Number 4 is... it's a tie between the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5 and the Nike Magista Opus 2, which is kind of the surprise that I mentioned earlier, because of course it makes sense with the Superfly. It is based on the lightest materials available, super thin flyknit upper and a very thin, extremely light nylon anatomical sole plate. And again, it's a speed boot, 191 grams. It definitely makes sense. But what on earth is then going on with the Magista Opus 2? It's based around touch, a little bit around comfort. So how can it weigh 191 grams? Well, the secret is the Kangalite synthetic, because as the name suggests, it is very light. It's also very comfortable though, so no matter if you want touch and comfort or you want to get a really locked in, fast, aggressive acceleration, you can get both and not feel weighed down one bit. Both of these two are 4th. In place number 3, we have the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 3 that weighs 187 grams. And just like on the Superfly, it's achieved that with having a really thin, extremely flexible flyknit upper that's then been coated by a very thin layer of silicone. And the whole lot sits on top, again, of a very thin sole plate that is, again, really light. So Nike might say it is about agility, but apparently they also wanted a lightweight boot anyway. And this shaves 4 grams off of the Superfly 5, which is the speed boot. So once again, it goes to show that speed isn't all about the weight. It's also about the acceleration, the responsiveness. And actually with the Hypervenom, you can get a super lightweight boot, no matter if you go for the Hypervenom Phantom 3DF at 187 grams, or if you go for little brother, the Hypervenom Phantom 3, which weighs 189 grams. So irregardless, the Hypervenom 3 is the 3rd lightest boot on the market, whichever way you look at it. In 2nd place, Mizuno are out to show that you can actually use high-quality K-leather and brilliant craftsmanship on a lightweight speed boot. It's 180 grams on the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 2. And what an incredible football boot. It's got a low profile, a tight fit, a lovely soft K-leather toe box that gives you a clean, responsive, but also slightly elegant touch on the ball, and a decently stable sole plate. But the most important thing is that while it makes you feel light, it also makes you feel like a comfortable ninja. And this boot just goes to show that class always wins. Well, almost always. Before we get to number 1, the featherweight champion, if you know what I mean, I gotta show some love to some boots that might necessarily not be sub 200 grams like these cats on the table, but they're really close to being so. The first one is the Umbro Medusa 2 Elite, which weighs 204 grams. Then we have a personal favorite of mine, the Puma Evopower Vigor 1 at 202 grams, and squeezing just above 200 grams, the adidas X17 PURESPEED, another one of my favorites. And it just goes to show that these are very brilliant football boots, and thus weight doesn't mean everything. It matters a lot, but football boots these days, they are so light that they can easily be slightly above 200 grams and still be flipping brilliant. Number 1. Listen, it's on top of every list, I know, but I can't do anything about this list because this is just facts. The Mercurial Vapor 11 weighs 167 grams, so it is by far the lightest of the bunch. But how is it so light, Jay? Well, we got this super thin Taichen upper that is very lightweight, and in general, not a lot of materials are actually used on the Vapor 11. Plus, it has the super thin lightweight nylon plate that also features on the Superfly. So you can kind of do the math, how much more the Flyknit upper on the Superfly weighs compared to the Taichen upper on the Vapor 11. And okay, it might not be the most comfortable thing in the world, but despite weighing considerably less than an iPhone 7 Plus, it is a lovely fitting, very tight, insanely good on the ball sensation, and a beast of a football boot. Plus, apparently, the lightest on the market. But Jay, my boot isn't on the table. Is it a heavy boot then? Is it a bad boot then? No, listen, weight isn't everything. And as I said in my honorable mentions, boots these days are just getting lighter and lighter. And actually, some of my favorite football boots that aren't on the table weigh above 200 grams. We have, for instance, the Nemesis. It weighs 213 grams. We have the Repular from Mizuno. It weighs 224 grams. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the PURESPEED, 201 grams, and the Evopower, 202 grams. And I usually tend to say that if your boots are lighter than 250 grams, I don't think that many people will actually consider them as being heavy. And again, getting a lightweight speed boot is a bit of a trade-off, because while you cut down on materials, it also means that you get less padding and less often comfortable materials around your foot. And there is a bit of, there is less stability, there's less shock absorption. It is just a trade-off, and it depends on what you want in a football boot. I could ramble on about this for hours, but now that you know what the top 5 lightest football boots on the market are, which of them would you choose? And in general, does weight matter to you? You should let me know in the comment section right down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the green bubble somewhere over my head. Leave me a like if you had a good time, and spread the word by sharing the video with your friends. And with that said, I'm signing off. Cheerio.